Oh god. You know, it's one of those things where I've never, you know what? I've never asked him how to pronounce his name. I don't know.
But yes, here we go. I think I'm on correct scale. I can't tell if it's spawning. In the top right position, it is our Hong Kong Protoss player. First time in the semi-finals. A bit of C representation. Give it up. Playing for Juggernauts for Bistork.
Oh, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres LE, we have the South Korean Terran player making his grand return. Oh my god, it's the commander himself. Welcome, KeeN. Representing a freak of freaks.
Yes, it is freaks. This is exciting, man. It is, as you said, Commander KeeN, and he is known for being a, you know, he's been through the ringer, right? He's been around for a very long time. It's exciting to see these veterans are still competing, especially in these tournaments that we're putting around. So,
want to know a fun fact? A kind of unrelated fun fact?
Is it actually fun?
Back in 2015, 2014, 2015, I played in an Olimo League, and I hit KeeN in the first round. And we played, and I almost beat him.
Really?
He opened up, and I went for a pool first link flood, and he left the wall open. So I killed like every single SCV, but at the same time he went across the map with his Reaper and Hellions, and he killed all my drones. And Hellions and Reapers, they do pretty well against Lings, not gonna lie.
How did they kill every drone if you just reinforced them with Lings?
Because they killed my Lings that were reinforcing me.
Oh, so sad. Poor lad. You would have been so excited too.
Oh, no, yeah, it was great. It was a great game.
Right, we have a bunker. It's building RNG, go! RNG! RNG!
Oh my god, awful.
I think it's
awful.
No. But yeah, honestly, this bunker it's not the worst commitment, right? All the depth coming in, because you can cancel the bunker. You can't return that mining time lost by those probes.
Exactly. So damage was done anyway. KeeN is just being a little bit annoying here with this bunker, forcing all that lost mining time. And again, because he didn't finish it at any time, he can cancel it and get a bunch of his money back.
Yeah, and we do see we've actually got 2 Reapers out in the field, and as long as that bunker's up, you know, you kind of have to respect it by Bistork, because you don't know if STV is going to sneak its way into finish. It's almost finished, actually.
Yeah, and behind this KeeN, let's go. He is going for 3 racks.
3 racks indeed. One of the Reaper actually getting sniped by that Adept there, but Adept's kind of bruised now. But I think if it pops up the ramp, as long as KeeN racks in time, those racks are out of position, right? They won't be able to see it. Really good save on the SCV there, and yeah, good lift.
Very nicely done. And right now he does deny entry for Bistork. He doesn't get in. He doesn't see the additional production. He does see the add-ons, but that is all he sees. So he only has a piece of the picture. And he does not know. Oh my god, and the Reaper is even getting so much damage done here in the main.
Yeah, the Reaper's kind of vibing, and the earlier you get damage done, you know, the more it's an impact. And it's getting quite a few damage done. 4 workers going down so far. Even a 5th good catch by KeeN. Bistork, he's got 2 Stalkers out now, but this Reaper's more than paid for itself.
Oh yeah, exactly. Got the damage done, but you lost mining time early, because if you remember, the probes are pulled to try and get us around, and not just that, but also the scout of the main. And throughout all of this, KeeN has been able to keep his build hidden.
Yeah, indeed, and we saw there's only 1 Rax. Did see a tech lab being built with that Adept up the ramp, but that could have been anything really. And Adept's going to get forced back, and KeeN, upon actually seeing this Marauder, you know, you should have an inkling of a sense something is going on now.
100%. The Marauder is a massive tell here, so now Bistork has some of that information now he can be preparing. But these Stalkers are getting caught out. Blink is nowhere near done, so with Concussive Shell, one gets picked off.
Yeah, and that's it. The Concussive Shell even being more of a confirmation if Bistork actually needed it. It's starting to look like really good for KeeN. You can see why he's just such a solid player, and he's been playing phenomenally so far. Those double Reapers, just kind of keeping tabs on what his opponent's doing while building up a force back at home, and expect to see him move out once these two upgrades line up late.
Oh yeah. Stim, combat shields, it's all on the way, and Bistork is also on the way across the map. Looking to clap all over his opponent. Someone in the chat did point out, yes, this is the infamous KeeN from the KeeN clap gif back in the day when he had life in his eyes and when he was excited to win games.
When he was a young kid, yeah. Now it's just he's devoid of life. This is the only way of life he knows. But yeah, there's a lot of Marauders, and if we have a look on the production tab, like there's a Mortal on the way, but I don't believe there's one actually out at the moment. Ooh. And meanwhile, Bistork going to be doing, knowing if there's a move out, he's going to do some damage himself, or begin some at depths. It looks like, but this is just less units to help defend at home line. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to hold this big push by KeeN.
Yeah, exactly. Like, this is so ballsy to go across time with a War Prism. Means it won't be at home to help defend it, won't be at home to help micro and keep that Immortal alive. Meanwhile, here we go. The Marauders going to rock up, just chunk away at those buildings. Shield Battery's going to try and keep it alive, but it's not enough. There's just too much DPS.
Yeah, the one good thing was he forced a stim early. It's going to force a second stim out of KeeN, but getting that Immortal, and it's a shield battery, but there's so much DPS in these units, but KeeN's just going to play it safe and just actually stim all the way back. So,
yeah. Like, it wasn't enough to break the natural, but a lot of damage was done. Like, he had high enough DPS to out-DPS the overcharged shield battery and kill an Immortal. Goes to show that, obviously, overcharge needs to be buffed. But, yeah. Bistork, at least he survives.
That's right. He does lose a gateway, but again, considering that KeeN kind of spent a whole stim, a bit of warp in the main of KeeN's base, actually. The fact that KeeN kind of, like, did a whole stim and didn't damage any of Bistork's army with it and forced the second one, it helped out a bit because those gateways, he was going to take those out anyway with his push by KeeN. So not the worst hold by Bistork really, but I think KeeN could have microed just a little bit better to get more value.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, maybe. In the end, though, he does end up pulling back. I don't believe KeeN threw down a third. No, he didn't. He threw down two additional Raxes instead. He does not want the game to keep on going. He wants to just end it, mate. But the longer this goes on, if I wasn't wrong, there we go. Robotic Spay has finished up for Bistork. He does have his first Colossus on the way. Colossus is going to help so much in the defense. But will this Colossus come out in time? Because KeeN is pushing out once again.
Oh yes, and meantime we see this Observer catching this army moving out across the map. He brings the Adepts in, but when you've got like 5 barracks about to finish up, there's going to be a constant stream of reinforcements not too far away to deal with this threat at home, but that Adept, the Adepts in the War Prism is always a constant threat in itself that's going to be looming over KeeN's head. So something we've seen a bit more common, this is kind of 2-base opening from the Terran where they just kind of commit hard, and a Colossus is about to pop light, but there's so many Marauders in this army.
Oh god, exactly. Like, he wants Colossus. Let's be real. Like, the amount of Marauders is absolutely insane, but he actually cuts the Marauder count in half. He wants to try and land on top of the Colossus.
Yeah, and he's going to drop on top. The Colossus gets in range of the shield battery, and it's just barely going to be taken out. A lot of Marauders have been taken out, but the bulk of the forces behind these force fields, and Light with these medevacs that are almost depleted. I think that KeeN's his army is so much more flexible, but can he push in yet?
That's the question. Like, he's a little bit overstimmed. In come all these Stalkers, the Immortal as well. It looks like he was overstimmed. Bistork will be able to clean this up, and even though he lost the Colossus, again, he survives.
Yeah, and one medevac getting taken out. A little poke into the third base, actually, too. A couple of Widow Mines going off. Looks like 3 to 5 kills all up in total.
Mate.
Well, I'm trying to get used to this this interface. But...
Shaking my head. Have you never watched a game of StarCraft? Shaking my head. But what I was gonna say though is that, mate, this is honestly pretty important. Like, that is keeping KeeN in this game because this third is so late in comparison. Like, he's able to keep the worker counts more or less like even.
Oh yes, and this KeeN's getting in a position here though. It's such a good position. Gets on top of the production here. I think this Colossus could be in a bit of danger. These Widow Mines will go off on a couple of Zealots, but he's on top of the ramp now, Light. And how do you push up this ramp? You've got like a Stalker and Immortal army.
With great difficulty, mate. But he's trying to do it. He's trying to push on forward. He does blink on top of the army, and there's just not enough fire to really hold on.
That's right, and meanwhile we have a drop at the third base as well going on. There's some units in the main as well. KeeN just being everywhere, and despite having, the delayed third base, he's getting work done with his drops. He's got 16 crows taken out so far.
Yeah, the drop even overpowering whatever stalkers there were. More probes are falling left and right. And again, this is damage that KeeN needed to get done, and now he's looking in a great position economically, and he keeps resetting that high-tech unit count.
Yeah, and keep in mind, like, KeeN's kept the majority of his medevacs alive too. They're just going to be flying back now, meeting up with their next army. This is going to make his next push even stronger as we look. Bistork's looking to make some damage for himself. His medevac is going to get good. And actually, it's like time for Bistork. He needs to get damage done now.
Oh my god, he really does. He needs to. He's heroes across the map. He doesn't have a lot protecting his Colossus, so I'm a little bit concerned. That one Colossus is looking a little bit exposed, and KeeN sees it as well. There we go. 2 shots, the Colossus. GG gets called, and KeeN will take game number 1.
Indeed. Wow. That was sick. That's fun to watch. It's a 2-base Terran, man. If it doesn't work at the first time, you just keep going. And we saw, despite Bistork holding the initial push reasonably well, KeeN was just relentless, wasn't he?
He really was. I love what Lumi is saying in the chat. Third bases are so optional. True.
That is true indeed. Especially... maybe not if you're Zerg.
Yeah.
Races, yes, and
Power of Terran, mate.
Terran.
The only thing I would have loved more in that game is that if KeeN had floated his main over instead.
Oh, don't you hate it when you think you're in a really close 2 game, Terran's on 2 base and you scout and they've got a 3rd orbital up already, and you think you're dead, but you check the replay and it's their main float. It's like, man, but yeah, I think KeeN was just kept putting on the pressure, kept his medevacs around so he could have more mobility, the Widow Mines too. And in the end, even though his 3rd base was later, he was getting damage done, and his 3rd was untouched, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was pristine.
It just goes to show how also powerful his macro was, because all these incredibly aggressive pushes that we saw from KeeN, he'd never kill his opponent and even would rarely get into the mineral line, but he kept killing immortals, he kept killing colossus, he kept again just resetting that robo unit count, and it just meant that over time he was just whittling away at what Bistork had, and eventually it was just too much. Damn.
Oh no, am I dead?
Oh no, Chase, no! No!
Can you hear me?
Oh, okay, you're back. Okay,
I thought you died, but then my stream started lagging.
Oh my god.
I'm back. Apologies.
Shaking my head. Lobby's been made. We're diving into the lobby. This time I'm gonna be a part of it as well.
No lobby, let me turn the pesky stream off so I don't lag out again.
Let's go.
Blackburn LE. Do you know LE stands for Light Edition?
It does.
Because Light is in this game.
I'm in the lobby. I'm back. Yes. I'm back. Oh god. There it is. The KeeN clap. Oh my god. Yeah. KeeN, he's such a iconic. It's weird. He has a really weird place in StarCraft history. He's known for his celebration, and he's always been around. But when it comes to GSL, he was always a round of 16 kind of player, you know? He never really had his time to shine. He really never had that breakout performance where he would make even a semifinals run or a finals run. But he's always been there. You know?
He's always been a very solid player, and that's certainly saying something when you've got players who have been right from the start. You need a certain level of kind of pizzazz to be consistent, even if you're not run at that top level, but consistently be a player that just comes into a small tournament like this. And so far, I don't think he's dropped a map. Actually, he's just on fire. Oh, we had a walkover first round, but yeah, props to him, because it's StarCraft's a game. It's pretty fast, and Legacy the way made it even faster. And when you get a bit older, it can be a little bit harder to keep up. So it's good to see him playing so well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I always loved me some KeeN. You actually touched on it when we first were talking about him, but for a long time he was known as the TvT sniper. TvT has always been his bread and butter, and he could take games off of anyone, even a player like Maru. I would always remember they'd send KeeN out in Pro League, and it was always oh yo, who's he gonna get? Is he gonna get innovation? Innovation better be scared. But yeah, it's great to see him still active after all these years, and still finding some success.
Yeah, and the fact that KeeN was used as a TvT sniper, as a specialist in Pro League, not only against, you know, I guess other Terrans, but the fact he was going up against Kesper Terrans, who are
Mm,
absolute like top peak of the level as a ESS, Esports Federation, original kind of OG player like MC.
mm,
It says something about the caliber of his plays. He's very precise, and I think that if we don't see any TVT today, but we get to explore his other matchups, and so far he hasn't disappointed.
mhm. Exactly, exactly. Ooh, and we'll see how much further he can go. He's already up 1-0. He's looking to maybe make it a clean sweep and move on to the grand finals, but we'll see, because now we are diving into game number 2.
Indeedly do. Make sure I'm on Kuro's camera. Yes, it is this one. Thank you, Kuro, for the wag. The little wag. I'm spawning in the bottom left position is your Hong Kong Protoss, going to be representing Juggernaut Esports. It is Bistork.
I'll have you know, it's
Oh,
the
no,
Juggernauts. It's the Juggernauts.
Oh
mate.
my god.
There's no gaming. There's no esport. They just are. mate.
Juggernaut. There's even 2 S's in the tag.
But spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Blackburn LE for quite a long time, representing a Freak of Freaks, but recently rebranded to Guangdong Freaks. He's got the dong, mate. He is KeeN.
Light, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
Oh boy, I am
Is that
seeing a
pylon?
pylon in the middle of the map.
Oh my god, it's another gateway as well. The Bistork. So unlike the previous game where he kind of, you know, set himself up and just tried to hold whatever KeeN was doing, it didn't work. He's going to be a bit more aggressive and kind of take the initiative this game around.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know, he's attempting to dictate the pace of the game. We'll see if he can get things done. We'll see if it goes unscattered. More importantly, as we do see the Cyber Core is on the way. It was a 2-gate opening, so again, it's not like a proxy Robo or Stargate or anything like that. So pretty interesting. We'll see if again he's able to keep this hidden.
Yeah, that's right. And actually, as you say, like 2-gate opener. When you maybe up against the player who's a little bit better, you can kind of tip the favor in the scales in your favor, how it says, a little bit more by just you know, reducing some variables. So KeeN's going to be forced to react to these 2 gateways, but it's not a full commitment. It's not something wacky like that. So but meanwhile, KeeN is actually going to be scouting around, and he might actually be able to catch this. Like,
oh, it's gonna be close. He's checking towards the south, towards the north, but he's not checking the center of the map, so he does not actually see this. At the same time, he actually went across the map with his SCV, and he did check his pylons, and he did confirm that, yo, pylon is missing.
yeah, right after confirming that, the Reaper has a Stalker in his face, and the Stalker's just going to be pushing against this wall here. Looks like SCV is just going to be going for a bit of a round and trip, but this bunker should finish despite losing maybe 2 SCVs in the way. That Reap is so important.
Yeah.
And with that 3rd Stalker though, it's a little bit scary.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I mean, regardless, this depot is going to get picked off, so damage is being done. Maybe he can get another one, but the Widowmine comes out, and with this Widowmine, it should be more than enough to push Bistork away. And from here, Bistork should be working on the natural expansion. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, meanwhile, KeeN is supply blocked. He's got 2 depots coming on the way, actually. This Reaper going to get a decent scout off, but meanwhile, we don't see any tech just yet for, oh, actually, there we go. Twilight Council being dropped right now. So, he will be able to get in the main. Stalker, actually. Ooh, actually, scout.
Yeah, beautifully done here by Bistork. He predicted the Reaper coming across the map. He was in position. He denies it, but the Reaper actually rotates around and is headed towards the natural base instead. And if there isn't a Stalker there, he could... Oh, no. Actually, he just confirms the natural.
Yeah, like, this is actually looking kind of scary enough at Bistork. You know, he's gone. He's not going to get... I'm going to predict the Blink is going to come out based on the amount of Stalkers we see on the map, but we have Cloak coming for our Terran player, and, you know, there is a Robo on the way. But normally it's you know, it's Twilight's probably the worst tech when it comes to dealing with detection. Oracles are okay in a pinch, but not greatest. But this Banshee, there is a shield battery in the mineral line, however, but it can have a bit of a impact in this game.
It really can. It's a lot of it's also going to depend on whether or not Bistork will prioritize getting an observer out as soon as the robo is completed, and actually working on that. Especially because Bistork is working pretty blind. He has very limited scouting information of what KeeN has been doing. For all he knows, it's another 3-racks opener, right? Like he's got no idea. As the first Banshee, I believe, is already out for KeeN, and he is just waiting a little bit longer for that cloak to finish up.
Yeah, and we wonder if he kind of waits for 2 Banshees here, because then he can one-shot those pros, but no, it looks like he wants to come in right when Cloak finishes, and it's a shield battery. How's this going to work out, like?
Yeah, I mean, the shield battery should be enough to keep a lot of these workers alive, so he can't one-shot as, yeah, he's just gonna do some damage to the shield battery. The observer's on the way.
Yeah, it is. The shield battery kind of paying for itself, actually. Will we get it? Yes, he... Oh, he wants it, though. But here we go, and that second Banshee's going to come in onto that main base while the Stalkers deal with this other Cloak Banshee, where there's no shield battery here yet.
True. Second Banshee is on the way, and now that mineral line is a little bit vulnerable. He's trying to rebuild that shield battery, but it's too late.
Yeah, now both Banshees coming to the main. Meanwhile, KeeN is pushing across the map as well. Even getting a Stalker here would be quite huge, actually. And Blink's about to finish up, which is a saving grace for Bistork. But there's a tank and 2 mines, and even some SCVs joining in the fray.
Yeah, Bistork, he's being pulled apart. He's struggling to even deal with those Banshees, but there's nothing here on the front line. There is one shield battery, but it's exposed because there's Nartosis Pylon.
Oh no, the Nartosis Pylon, the shield battery. It's fighting to keep itself alive. Well, actually not the best mine hit first up, but I think it's Banshee and his Marines now. I think, yeah, this force is going to do some terrible damage.
Yeah, boys. Yeah, the boys are being forced off the line. Is it going to be enough to... Oh, the Widow Mine does get taken out, and Bistork, he's holding.
That he is indeed, and actually... These Stalkers now, they move Zealots with the tank, but with no medevacs here, these Stalkers can actually, you know, guide these Marines back to the natural of Bistork. And looking at the worker count, even though KeeN has a couple of mules, it's a healthy count for Bistork.
Yeah, it's looking pretty damn healthy indeed. We'll see. I'm really curious to see how this goes here for KeeN, because of course he does have mules available to him. He can start to work his way back up, but I feel like the Banshees need to deal a little bit more damage, right? Like, I assumed that Bistork's attention was going to be spread a little bit thinner than it actually was.
Yeah, I think it's the fact that he managed to save one of these Banshees is not bad. Oh, if he gets a tank here, that'd be huge though. Oh, no! Jump in. You're losing that tank, they're not the greatest, but yeah, you're gonna keep the Banshee alive. You know, it does be a bit of a thorn in the side of Warp Prism coming across the map actually. It also does force out, you know, those repeated shield batteries in case they get sniped. So as we see, a couple more options tech-wise here. We've got a Robo Bay and a Forge, so Bistork going to take a third and play the macro game. And meanwhile, looks like Bistork's caught onto this Banshee. So here we go, even just keeping the Warp Prism back.
Yeah, it does delay the Warp Prism. It does force Bistork to focus a little bit more on his defenses at home. And it looks like he will be able to swat this Banshee away for the time being. One more, it doesn't get it.
Or is he gonna? Oh, he actually.
He breaks across. He gets it.
That is so sick. He does get it, and KeeN does have a bit more breathing room. But the problem is, you know, Bistork's the one who needs the breathing room because he's taking a third base. KeeN's just gonna gear up for another big attack.
Yeah, KeeN needs the breathing room, but Bistork be breathing, mate, as he does is gonna be having Colossus on the way. Robotics Bay just finished up, so there it is in production. But KeeN, he doesn't give a damn. He wants to end it before the Colossus comes out.
Yeah, that's right. Usually these Stalkers are going to slow this push down. There's even a Zealot Warp in the main base as well. And Bistork's not playing this too bad, but at the end of the day, like, there's 2 tanks and he doesn't have any Immortals. He's going for Colossus Light.
Yeah, exactly. Charge still needs a little bit more time, and that's time that Bistork doesn't have. Overcharge is being popped, but immediately the shield battery is being focused down. Stim to win. Where's that Colossus? It's still on the way.
The Colossus not out yet, and G-Sog's just going to GG. Even though he had Zealots in the natural of KeeN, he just couldn't deal with that push at the front door.
He just barely couldn't do it. GG, well played. Congratulations to KeeN, as he does take the series 2-0. And what I'm impressed by is that this madman, this mad lad, KeeN, he hasn't dropped a single map so far.
No, he has not. Like, he even went 99-0 in one of the earlier. But yeah, it's kind of it's just kind of well played. And KeeN even lost the tank when he did that push as well. Unfortunately for Bistork, he needed to put that shield battery a little bit out of kind of out the way just in case to cover like the natural ramp as well, because KeeN we to choose like where he wants to engage with that kind of siege force. But I think in the end also KeeN just had so much macro. He played very well and decent damage with the Banshees as well, so not surprised to see him as our first finalist. And it looks like again he'll be going up against another Protoss because we have Trigger versus Art as our next
Ooh.
series.
Exactly. We've had nothing but PvPs here in the lower half of the bracket. Trigger, he just took a chance, and now he's up against the last remaining European.
Could you tell me are they on Central or are they on East?
They should be on East.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. All right, so I'll just be one moment. You know why?
Feels bad.
Haven't had an American player a
True.
European yet. No, True's Korean. He doesn't count, but so it is East.